Why would I, when I beat my charges, why would I go to her address? Why? I wouldn't even know if I'm able to even get out of here without having a heart attack. I don't even know what the outside looks like.
Alright, so this is one of the most concerning parts right here when you made this statement. Did you make this statement that you knew where she lived?
I promise to God, on my family, on myself, on everything, on my respect, on whether you're recording or not, I never said that. Promise to God.
Okay, so you didn't make these
I
statements.
promise to God.
I've got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
It's all initiated because you weren't getting the trimmers, correct?
That's what they're alleging.
Okay, but
I don't know where
you clearly said that you understand that you only get them 2 days a week, and one of the days was Saturday, not Friday.
That's correct. Wednesday and Saturday, and then the officers on Wednesday told me the following shift. The following shift told me the following shift, and then it's Friday, and I'm like, okay, when am I getting the
Do you
trimmers?
understand that
And then on
it's
Saturday, I didn't even get the trimmers on Saturday, sir.
Okay, do you understand that it is on Wednesday and Saturday?
Sir, I've been here for 1 year in this particular unit.
That's my question, sir. Yes or no? Do you understand that it is on Wednesdays and Saturdays?
Let me explain to you, sir.
Yes.
With all due respect, sir, just to answer your question, I've been on this pod, Unit 19, since October in the same cell, Unit 19D pod, Cell 12, since October, and right now we're in April. I've been in here for 6 months. Of course, I understand it's Wednesdays and Saturdays. That's why I'm trying to explain to you. If you take it out of context, you're not going to understand. But if you put it into context, on Wednesday, on trimmer day at 10 a.m., I asked for the trimmer to be placed on the trimmer list. Put me on the trimmer list. Respectfully, asking nicely, and they put me on the trimmers list. But they've been prolonging it until Friday, and I'm asking Miss Salas, and they told me they're going to get it to me. They said they're going to give it to me. And then they're ignoring me. They're doing shady business because I'm reporting abuse in here. I'm telling you, because Juan Campos died in here, I reported it. Now they're doing all this, and they stepped on my rug, threw my Quran. Are you okay with someone throwing my Quran around? Are you okay with that, sir? I'm asking you a specific question. Are you okay with that?
That's not what we're here for.
I'm telling you, my religious rights are being violated.
Okay, and we do have a grievance procedure. I'm sure you know how to.
Sir, I asked for a grievance form, and they said I'm not allowed to get a grievance. I'm just telling you.
You know the process, right?
Yeah, sir. With all due respect, I asked for the grievance form, and they said they're not going to give it to me.
Who said that?
Officer Salas.
Are you on restrictions for some reason?
What restriction? What restriction?
I'm asking yes or no. Are you on restrictions for a grievance?
My right is to write a grievance, correct? As an inmate right? Why would I have restrictions to write a grievance? I'm asking you, and in regards to that,
There's plenty of people here. You're not the only
sir, I want a grievance to write a complaint about that, and they would not accept my grievance form. So the following day, they bring this right up. The following day, they put me on top security list. The following day, when I report this to my family that they stepped on my rug and kicked my Quran around, they assaulted me in here. They took all my mattress. Doctor's orders, they're not allowed to take my mattress. I was in a deadly car accident. I was in a coma. I died in that car accident. Helicoptered me to Fairfax Hospital. They beat me up in this facility on May 24th. And now you're telling me you're going to take my mattress away? Step on my Quran, step on my prayer. What kind of human beings are we? That's what I'm asking.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Let me go ahead and pause the tape, okay, the recording, and call for your witness, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and proceed with the hearing. We have your witness, Lamar McNeil.
McNeil, yes, sir.
Yep. So go ahead and ask him any questions.
Good morning, Mr. McNeil. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good.
Good. So, do you recall the incident in regards to April the 5th on Friday?
Yes, I do recall that.
Okay. Can you please tell us what happened from your perspective?
Okay. From my perspective of being at my cell door, he pushed the intercom to ask the CO for the razors, the electric trimmers. But because if you go look at my, if you go look at the intercom now, you'll see that everything's lit up. So they don't really answer the intercoms. I guess maybe it's too many lit up intercom people for them to answer. So when the officers come by the door, you have to ask the officers for what it is you need. You kind of got to stop them. So all good. Mr. Aljazairi, when the officer came by, he stopped him and asked the officer, he said, hey, I've been asking for the razors since Wednesday and nobody's brought me the razors and stuff. But the officer didn't stop. The officer kept on going. So he was like, officer, and we have to acknowledge our officers by their names or CO as a way of a form of getting the officer's attention. So he called the officer's name. The officers kept it moving, didn't pay no mind. He was like, look, all I'm asking them, y'all not gonna answer me there, can y'all answer the intercom? Nobody failed to answer the intercom or answer him. So he called the officer's name like, hey, like, can y'all at least answer me? no officer failed to answer. A sergeant came, and when he came, then this sergeant was like, don't be calling my officer's names and stuff. Like, what's wrong with not calling the officer's name if nobody's gonna answer the intercom? So if nobody's gonna answer the intercom, then you're gonna acknowledge the officer by calling their name and stuff. Well, the sergeant said, well, if you keep calling my CO's name and stuff, I'm gonna run in your cell and take everything out. When he said that, I was like, that's not even a damn rule of like, that's not breaking no rule or whatever by calling the officer, acknowledging who they are to ask a question or whatever. So when he was like, it didn't care that like if you want to run in my cell for me calling the officer's name, that's not breaking no rule or whatever. He said, open the cell door, open the cell door. So being that he knew that it wasn't breaking no rule and stuff, the sergeant basically was looking to trying to do a bully move. So the bully move was open his cell up. He ran in the cell, took everything out his cell, and I'm like, that's not even a rule in the book of saying the officer's name because you have to address them if you need that. 10 minutes later, they brought him his stuff back.
And I was literally praying, and they stepped on my prayer rug, threw my Quran around. Did you hear the ruckus in here when they roughed me up?
I mean, I could look and see all the stuff that was right there thrown on the floor because it's right in front of my cell and stuff
Did you hear me threaten the officer in any manner?
There was no threats. There was no threats. The only reason why the officer went in his room because he said, stop calling my officer's name. But he's talking to the sergeant now. He's not calling the officer's name, but because that's not any rule, you're not breaking a rule by calling the officer's name.
Well, he was calling them by their first and last name.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
He was calling their name.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Did you hear him call?
He called the officer's name.
By the first and last name?
Yes, sir.
No officer responded.
Yes, sir.
By the first and last name?
By the first and last name.
That's correct. But after I called them by the first and last name, after they ignored me on multiple occasions, when I called them by the last name, so I called them by the first and last name. But did I call them in any threatening manner?
No threatening manner whatsoever. There was no threatening manner. Like, the only threat was that I'm going to come in your cell if you keep calling my officer's name.
You should write the sergeant up for coming in threatening me.
He didn't go in his cell. I mean, he didn't say anything when he said, don't call my officer's name. He said, okay, if that's what you want to do, then go ahead. But down the sergeant being a bully or whatever wanted to show you bulliness and say, open the cell, pop the cell door, pop it. Ran in his cell. No threats whatsoever. It was just only the whole issue was just from the electric razors.
Yes, sir.
He ran in the cell, took everything, and I'm laughing too, because I'm like, what did he didn't do nothing wrong. And sure enough, 10 minutes later, they came and gave him all his stuff back. Look, 10 minutes later, if you look at the camera, they gave him all his stuff back because there was no threat that he came out of his mouth and said.
I didn't do anything. And can I ask my witness one question, please? Did they write me up on that same day?
No, he didn't get written up that day. Literally, the next day, around about 11 or so, the next day they gave him a DDR. But I thought they knocked on my door, so that's the only reason why I had gotten up. Because I'm like, who's knocking on my door and stuff? But unfortunately, they was knocking on his door, telling him he had a DDR. And I didn't ask him what the DDR was, or the DAR, excuse me. I didn't ask him what it was and stuff. I just know that when I thought they knocked on my door, they didn't. So I didn't pay no mind and stuff. But then he told me later on, they gave him a DDR for threatening officers about an address or something like that. He never stated an address whatsoever out of his mouth. Not whatsoever. And if he wouldn't have had, when the sergeant said, if you don't stop calling my officer's name and stuff, I'm going to come in yourself, he wouldn't even got written up at all anyway. But when they said, when he was like, I don't care, basically, if you want to come in my cell, come in my cell. Like,
I said, I don't care, take my stuff if you want.
Yeah.
And then they threatened me. They stepped on my rug while I was crying. Hey, can I just tell, sir, Mr. McNeil, I just got a question for you. When did they put me on TSL?
The TSL had to be the next day sometime.
Well, they put you on TSL for the threats.
What threats?
The threats that was in the
I swear to God, I swear on everything, I never made a threat. And I swear to God, and you heard everything. That's why
it was the officer's statement.
That's what I'm saying. The only person that's threat is the Sergeant Darling. He come to my cell, take my stuff. That's the only threat.
Anytime, and say you coming in here to